And we're back now with our roundtable. Michael Kranish, reporter for the Boston Globe, co-author of The Real Romney, plus our political dynamic duo, Chief White House correspondent Norah O'Donnell and political director John Dickerson. Michael, I want to first say this is really a good book. I'm about halfway into it, and it's not the basic campaign book. This is really a little bit of history. You all have done a tremendous amount of research. Let me ask you this. Are you surprised with all of the research? This book was 5 years in the making, I think. Has Governor Romney said anything that has surprised you so far?
Well, it's interesting. You know, twice in the last couple of weeks, he said, that was a mistake, I made a mistake. For example, not releasing the tax returns when he was really pressured by people who were his strong supporters saying, do it now. Finally did it, said it was a mistake not to do it earlier. And then again, when he said, I'm not very concerned about the poor, the way he worded it was wrong. And he said, after a couple of days, that was a mistake. So it's not the kind of thing that he likes to say. He doesn't like to project that image, but he's really had to listen to some of the folks outside the inner circle who are saying, you really got to get ahead of this. You know, this is causing problems.
John Dickerson, put it all in perspective now. Gingrich says he's hanging around for the long haul. How does this work out? Can he do this?
Well, it's very hard. I mean, Romney now has had a consecutive win, which we haven't seen so far in this primary, and so he's trying to start the victory parade, and Gingrich is trying to convince us that he's not on a death march to Tampa. The problem for Gingrich is he's got a lot of obstacles there. Of the 7 remaining contests, Romney has won 4 in the past in 2008. He has a lot more money than Gingrich has, and what we've seen in Nevada, and we saw it in Florida too, is that organization matters. And the Romney campaign has been preparing for a long fight, and they've got the organization in place, and that matters in terms of turning out your vote, but also just getting on the right page, keeping a single message. Those are challenges for Gingrich. And also he's got to find, as you quite rightly pointed out, he's got to find a way to break into the news cycle. And he's got a lot of different messages, and he may be able to nick Romney a little bit, but he needs to really get out there and explain to people why he's the alternative, why he's the general election candidate, and he just doesn't have the opportunities to do that.
It's an uphill fight for him, but it's not over yet.
No, not at all. And also, he does best when he's behind. When everybody's counting him out, in fact, he should design a way for that to happen, because that's when he really comes on strong. So now everybody's counting him out. It's time for him to come back. If this campaign is any judge, he's come back already 2 or 3 times.
Norah O'Donnell, you cover the White House. You're there every day. We keep asking people from the Obama campaign to come on Face the Nation and give us their thoughts about how it's going. So far, they say no. Why do you think that is?
Well, it is almost as if the Obama team is taking a bye week while the Republicans tear each other apart on the Republican primary process field. But I think it's a strategic decision that the longer this primary process goes on, the more they see that it drives Romney to the right, and it will shorten the amount of time that he can court the independent vote that, of course, is going to decide this election. And quite frankly, if you look at the polls, you see that Romney's disapproval rating among independents has actually spiked recently. And President Obama is focused on the message that he laid out in his State of the Union address, talking about housing, jobs, and trying to push up his numbers among independents.
Michael, why do you think Mitt Romney has such a hard time, for want of a better word, connecting with people?
Well, you know, Mitt Romney, as we write in the book, really grew up in this series of bubbles. A very wealthy community. His father was the governor, went on more mission 2.5 years, and then to Harvard and the world of private equity. So it's been a series of bubbles. He wasn't a mayor. He didn't run for city council. He's not a glad-hander, you know, who goes out for drinks with the guys, obviously. So he hasn't had that throughout his life. So it's been a difficulty for him. Also, he saw what happened to his father, who said, I was brainwashed by the generals in Vietnam. So he wants to be very careful to be scripted. He hasn't done a lot of interviews, as you noted. But when he does go out there, sometimes it causes problems when he gets off the script.
Norah, where does this go now? When will the White House start getting into this?
It's a great question. I think that they are going to sit and wait and see how long Newt Gingrich can last. Newt says he's going all the way to Tampa, but if Newt's still in it, I think they'll pull back. So you've got Super Tuesday on March 6th. I think it's the end of March or April before we see President Obama launch his full campaign-style swing where he really engages with Mitt Romney by name. We saw the president dying this week, I think, to take Mitt Romney on, not by name, but he drew contrast with him on housing. He drew contrast with him on the auto industry, and he even sort of offered a slight attack when Romney made that gaffe about not caring about poor people. So clearly the campaign is up and running, but the president has yet to directly engage with Mitt Romney.
And Is there a possibility there might be a debate added this month, John? That's clearly what Newt Gingrich wants.
Oh my gosh, he would love that, but the Romney campaign has gone back into that kind of careful mode again. They don't want a debate. Although did quite well, we should remember, he did well in a lot of these debates and in the last two in Florida. So, but certainly...
And then fired his debate coach because apparently the campaign thought he was getting too much publicity.
Didn't want to get him to get too much credit. But, I think a debate would be nice for us. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.